be speaking about sugar and childhood obesity. So a report published in the New England Journal of Medicine states that for the first time in 200 years, the current generation of children in America have shorter life expectancies than their parents. Many of you will have children one day, and I would imagine that you would hope for your kids to outlive you. But what is making our children sick? And why are life expectancies shorter than those of our parents? One of the main reasons is the prevalence of childhood obesity and the rise in type 2 diabetes, fueled by sugar that has made its way into many school meals that are given to children. Regulations on added sugar in school breakfasts and lunches are necessary because they would likely decrease childhood obesity rates, type 2 diabetes, and furthermore, the annual medical spending dedicated to helping people with such diseases. First, I'll discuss the recent increase in childhood obesity and what is causing it. Next, I'll discuss why it needs to change and how we can go about solving this issue. Finally, I'll help you imagine a world where this problem no longer exists and what you can do to help spark change in the lives of children throughout America. Although you may not have children yet, it is important for you to understand exactly what the problem is so that you are aware of it if you decide to have kids of your own. Childhood obesity is a health epidemic that has plagued the United States. The World Health Organization defines obesity as a disease where health is impaired due to excess body fat. In the 1960s and 1970s, only 5 to 7% of US children were obese. Since then, obesity rates have skyrocketed, with approximately 17% of school-aged children being obese. So you can see this chart here. It's been on a steady increase. In certain minority groups, the statistics are even more alarming. For example, obesity rate of African American girls is 29% and 27% for Mexican American adolescent boys. Obesity can be very detrimental to both one's physiological and psychological health. Psychologically, obese children are more likely to targets of bullying and face depression. Physiologically, obese children are at higher risk of having chronic diseases such as heart disease, high blood pressure, gallbladder disease, respiratory disorders, and most commonly, type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is a disease in which blood sugar levels are higher than normal. The human body naturally produces insulin in order to fight high blood sugar levels, but over time, the body stops responding to the insulin, leading to insulin resistance. The concept of children having type 2 diabetes is a relatively new concept. In fact, the disease used to be called adult onset diabetes because in the 1980s, there were 0 children with the disease. In 2010, however, over 57,000 children were suffering from it. According to the American Journal of Public Health, 18% of all deaths in the United States were obesity related. While most of the deaths were recorded in adults, childhood obesity is closely linked to adulthood obesity. So obese children already have a lower life expectancy and a higher chance of morbidity. But what is causing this epidemic, and how do we change it? The main cause of this issue is school meals. Nearly 31 million children eat school lunches every day, and another 14.6 million eat school breakfasts. In California, 71% of schools serve fast food on a daily basis, including pizza, hamburgers, french fries, chicken tenders, and soda. Sugar is being substituted for the other nutrients, and children are eating over triple the amount of sugar that they should be on a daily basis, coming in at an average of 80 grams. You can see a few examples here. So 1 sugar cube is equal to 1 teaspoon of sugar, and all these things have so much sugar. I found this in my backpack earlier today, and it's called Nature Valley, so you expect it to be healthy. The second ingredient is sugar, and it has 11 grams of sugar. That's just a little example. Sugar sneaks its way into many foods that people are unaware of even having sugar, such as yogurt, cereal, bread, tomato sauce, and many other foods. Children are being fed more sugar for breakfast than their daily recommended amount. They continue to eat sugary foods for lunch, dinner, dessert, and snacks. This is a problem that needs to be changed, and it starts with changing the way children eat at school. I am proposing a bill that would put a cap of 6 teaspoons, which is the recommended amount of sugar, in a school meal. I also propose doubling the current budget for the National School Lunch Program. This reform is vital and could save thousands of children from obesity at a young age. Obesity rates are continuing to rise, and children are becoming sicker at an earlier age. The government is allowing food processors to dump sugar into foods, which is leading to extreme weight gain, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. Many critics claim that the government cannot afford to feed children healthier meals, but in reality, they would save money in the long run. The current budget for the National School Lunch Program is $13.6 billion. As a nation, though, we spend more than $260 billion annually on just 2 health issues, diabetes and obesity. So, are we really saving money by outsourcing food to processors that take healthy fats out of foods and replace it with sugar? The answer is no. Regulating added sugar in school foods is not only vital to children's health, but it will also decrease medical spending significantly. By doubling the budget of the National School Lunch Program, we could potentially save billions of dollars on medical spending used to treat the diseases the small budget is creating. It is very important to be aware of this issue because without awareness, nothing will be changed. There's a good documentary called Fed Up, which highlights the corruption in the food industry in the National School Lunch Program. We need to continue to inform people of this problem to show people that we need change and put pressure on the government to do something about it. If we continue to let this be a problem, we'll see life expectancies of our peers and our children get shorter and shorter, our lives will be filled with less happiness, and the problem will only become more difficult and more expensive to change, causing potentially detrimental effects on our society. We do not want our children going in and out of the doctor's office being forced to shoot insulin into their bodies for a disease that is completely preventable. We want to see our children playing outside, enjoying all the wonderful moments that life has to offer. We don't want to outlive our children. We want to pass now our children will live a long life filled with joy and optimism, doing everything they dream of. If we continue to let this be an issue, it will only be harder to change. Luckily, it is a fairly new epidemic, and there is still hope. If we can put a stop to this problem now, we can still change the outcome of the lives of so many people, giving them so much more opportunity in life to fulfill their life goals and live the life that they dream of at a young age. Obesity at a young age is so limiting, it will prevent our children from doing what they dream of as a child. For example, a child who dreams of being an astronaut when they grow up. Although this is maybe fairly unlikely for any person, when you add in obesity, it becomes impossible. These children are the future faces of our government, our soldiers, teachers, scientists, and engineers. We need to protect them, and it starts with changing the way they eat food at school. We need to continue to inform people of this problem and show people that we need change and put pressure on the government to do something about it. So, in conclusion, childhood obesity rates are skyrocketing and is mainly due to the foods that we are being served at school lunches throughout the nation. I believe that we need to put a cap on the amount of sugar added to school meals and double the budget of the National School Lunch Program. By raising awareness of this issue, we can put pressure on the government and hopefully get things changed. So let's push for a change to give our children the life they deserve.